Nick has been talking about all your texting last night.
Yeah. He only texts when he has something he feels good about. Otherwise, it's radio silent.
He was very good.
Oh, my God.
That's just not true at all. Coach is starting to show off with a lie. I don't know why you'd do that.
I imagine our Kansas City native was excited last night. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens heading into Arrowhead to take on Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Fourth quarter, Ravens up 7, 4th and 9. Mahomes heaving one up in desperation. Tyreek Hill catches it. And then 4 plays later, 4th down again, Mahomes finds Damien Williams, who scores. Game tied at 24, so we head to overtime. Kansas City kicked a field goal. Lamar Jackson gets hit, and he's down. So RG3 had to replace him and can't connect on that 4th down. Chiefs, or here's the 4th down, doesn't connect. Chiefs go on to win this one 27-24. Patrick Mahomes with 377 yards, 2 touchdowns. Here he is on the win.
These are the best wins. I mean, when you have to battle, I mean, you trade blows with somebody. I mean, that's a great football team, physical football team, and has a lot of talent. And so when you trade blows with a team like that and you come out with a win in the end, I mean, those are the wins that you remember. Those are the wins that really satisfy you the most.
Coach, what did that win tell you about Mahomes and the Chiefs?
Well, I did think the 4th down play was impressive, and it's good to see him in these situations where he's in tight games and he's got to make plays, and he's been able to do that. I do think that teams, as they look at this tape and they look at even some of the earlier games, are going to see his problems with pressure, and he does have he has an issue with that, and he's going to get a lot more pressure as we move on. And I know the clip didn't show the play in overtime where he's scrambling to his right, coming back to the left, he fumbles the ball, and just by the football gods allowed them to recover that ball, but that should have easily been the Ravens' ball. So there's that element of make something happen, which was incredible on that 4th down play, but he's going to have to, as he continues to go to reel some of those decisions in, and he's going to have to deal with significantly more pressure, I think, as we continue to move deeper into the season.
But these are the types of games that I think impress you more than a 35-10 shellacking, right? Like, these are the games that I've heard you talk about when you speak of Big Ben with such reverence. Like, that 4th and 9 play, maybe not quite the exact same, wouldn't look the same, but those are the types of plays that I think have made you respect Big Ben so much. Like the keeping things alive, keeping your eyes downfield, have to have it moment. If you don't make that play, the Chiefs lose. The game will be over, and finds a way to do it. Like, against are either the best or the second best defense in all of football in a game where he was good in the first half, and in the second half yesterday until this last drive and overtime was really bad. Had like 28 yards passing, had an interception. Like, so overcoming all of that with a defense that was clearly at times in the second half confusing him. They were throwing a cover 0 at him multiple times where they had absolutely nobody back and he couldn't get the ball off in time. Those are the types of things that, as you are looking with a, I will say, critical eye for any of these young players, that I think you have said you've wanted to see and is the most impressive.
Yeah, that's absolutely what you're looking for, is when things aren't going well, can you find a place to overcome that and overcome it late in the game and find a way to win the game? And you saw that on the 4th down play, but then you're frustrated with the fact that it's 1st and 10 in overtime. They're on the 20-yard line. He's trying to make a play, and he puts the ball on the ground. Those are the plays that I think with time and experience, he'll hopefully move past, because with all the good things that he did, if they had lost because of that play, it would have been incredibly frustrating.
And this is still a team that they're going to miss Kareem Hunt. Like, you miss his dynamic playmaking within the Patty Mahomes. Yes, I was in this league with Brett Favre, so I've seen players like him. But, man, Brett Favre, man, we played against him a lot. And Dennis Green used to always be like, listen, don't let him get behind us, because there are going to be 2 or 3 plays, all right, well, we're going to blitz him, and he's going to throw it to us, because he's going to be trying to always make plays. So Coach Mangini and those who have been in this business, yeah, they love to see the spectacular. But how do you manage games? How do you win games? And how do you prevent your team from losing? And that was a critical mistake. They end up being very, very fortunate. And because they were fortunate, we can't gloss over that. We must continue to look at it that was a bad play. that he put the team in a bad position. Now, the ball bounced their way. They end up getting it back. So, yes, there's some very, very positive things. One of the most positive things I saw was late in the game where they get the blitz at the goal line. Instead of him holding on to the ball, he goes right to the back. The back is hot. The back ends up scoring in the flat. So, ultimately, the more he sees these types of looks, he will get better at it. But you can believe the next 3 weeks and in the playoffs, teams are not going to sit back and play cover 3 and just play cover 1. They're going to blitz him, and they're going to do it from a variety of different looks. What is amazing is as you watch these games, and it happened with Denver. Denver was doing a good job getting pressure on him both times that they played, but they continually let him to get outside the pocket. And get out to the right. Yes. I don't, like that part to me, and I'm sure they covered it. I'm sure they went through it. I'm sure they stressed the importance of it. But he's going to kill you if he gets out of the pocket, and he's going to kill you if he gets out of the pocket to the right. But yet it happens in critical situations. The fourth down play, as critical as you can get, and he gets out, he extends a play, and we see what happens. And the reason this win was, you could argue, the best Chiefs win of the year was the context of what you're saying. See, Kareem Hunt's not there. Spencer Ware, the backup, he gets dinged and gets knocked out of the game. Tyreek Hill makes that huge play, but Tyreek Hill was not at 100%. You could see him limping around. He said after the game, my heel's in bad shape. And their center got knocked out of the game in the first quarter. So you do not have Sammy Watkins was inactive for the game. So we've talked a lot throughout the year, I'd like to see a lot of these young quarterbacks with all these weapons. Well, your number 1 running back, your number 2 wide receiver are out of the football game. Your number 2 running back's dinged. Your number 1 wide receiver dinged, your center's out, and you're up against a dominant defense, a defense that has carried this Ravens team to their 7 wins on the year, and they still find a way to win. The other thing we've seen, and this is, both of you have been preaching all year, don't get hung up on 54-51, that it's going to change as the weather changes, as the season gets longer. Like, as the season... Oh, we know something about football. Right. Okay. So, like I said at the top of the show, tough kind of compliment. So we've had, just in the last 2 weeks, 3 instances of the 3 best offenses in football going up against, I believe, the 3 best defenses in football. We saw the Cowboys take on the Saints. Cowboys held the Saints 10 points. Indoors. Perfect conditions, basically. We saw the Rams take on the Bears last night. The Bears held the Rams to 6 points. We saw the Ravens. Not a lot of wind in Chicago. Not the typically frigid wind, so it wasn't the weather. Right. All right. No. It was just great. It was defenses choking out the offense. And then we saw Ravens take on the Chiefs, and they did a really good job. And they held them 27 points. And so, like, that to me does speak to the difference between, now the Chiefs defense might ruin it all, but the difference between the Chiefs offense and even the other great offenses in the league. We saw those other 2 offenses go up against great defenses and look nothing like themselves. The Chiefs were held to 10 below their season average, but not 21 or 28. I'm not going to do that comparison, because that Bears defense last night, I don't care how much faith I don't care where you was raised at. They're not going to score 27 on that Bears defense from last night. So trying to move the Rams from in a frigid or cold climate from Los Angeles, compared like that was a huge change for guys coming from LA. Now coming there. So I can't make the comparison that Bears defense couldn't get that same result against anyone in the Bears have a talented defense. They have a lot more talent than Baltimore have on the defensive side, Coach. And it's going to be interesting to see as more teams play Mahomes and more things are tried versus him, the book that the defensive coordinators have and figuring out what he does really well, what he does poorly, how you can make him play left hand. And that's what you see a lot deeper into the season is the book is being built. Yes. People are drawing on the things that have worked against these offenses and giving them heavy doses on it to see whether or not the offense has another pitch, whether they can play left-handed. And as we go, that's going to be more and more a part of these game plans.
All right, Coach, we're going to have you stick around. Coming up, the Cowboys. Are they contenders after beating the Eagles? That's next on First Things First.
So the fumble that didn't happen, that's the play. That's the one, because Scandrick, because the pick that didn't